Well, good morning, YouTube. I just started working on this one. I finished this one up. It's all been hand sanded. It's pretty straight. I got a little bottom bondo that needs to go in, but I wanted to get this piece in. And right here's where this door stop was. So I had a bolt in it. I couldn't really get it around it. You can see that square hole I got it cut in there. So I took it out and welded it up, and I couldn't get my bottom plate in there, so I had to cut it in two so I could drop it down in there. Anyway, long story short, I did get it in. This is ready for the lip now. There was quite a bit of welding and cleanup I did in this area. I don't know what to say about that, except I mean, it looks bad right now, but all this is going to get filled up with Bondo, so it's a smooth surface. Now there's Mr. Door finished. I welded this plate in here and filled all this back part with Bondo. Got this all cleaned up, so I got a pretty nice surface there, 1/2 inch all the way around, that I can put my window channel in. I just kind of filled this up roughly. I don't know what's going to happen with my my outside door. If I have to cut it down, I may have to cut it all like this, but there's part of the hinge there, so I'm pretty sure that the doors, I might have to fill this up, this corner right here, fill it up flush. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to have to do, and I would have to work in this area here. But basically it's all in and welded. It didn't take too long. This other one over here, that took all day, but a lot of the time was spent filming and this and that. And if I don't have to film, this goes really quick, so I just put it up there and weld it and sand it and move on to the next thing. The next thing I need to do, the guy that cut this door up in the first place cut this piece out of here. Feels like it's just rounded off with a round rod. Oh no, that's where I made it. I made this piece. There wasn't anything in here. But I need to take this flat piece here, and I got to take it all the way around over to here. This is for the window, I guess they call it belt line weather stripping, keep the window from rattling. So I got to cut me a piece to shape here, and I'm just going to weld it. I'll probably put it behind this edge here and weld it all the way around, stick it under there, and then I can fill this up and grind it off so it'll be smooth. So this one here don't have to be all that great. I have to get some of this Bondo back out of here, grind this down a little. But anyway, that's that round rod patch I made there a long time ago. I'll just have to cut me a piece and put in it. Well, there's Mr. Window Channel done. Everything's going to get covered up. This back in behind it there. But it's filled up and solid. And I got it straight and it's matching the lower window run. And my plate's plenty big. In fact, I got it probably a ½ inch bigger than it needs to be. But that'll be good enough for the window rubber. I just threw a little spray paint on here. Looks like I missed a place right there. But this is all done and straight, smoothed out. Of course, this is all done with 40 grit. So basically all I was after with this stuff was getting it straight. Looks like I got quite a bit of work right there. Didn't have any light on it. A little bit in there. But basically, this door is done. It's ready for some, final tweaking, and everything closes good. This channel here is all ready for a window. Yeah, it took a couple days, probably one day. I spent 2 half days on this door, but it looks good. Good enough. And we'll let this thin primer dry and move on to something. I'm going to do another little test here. I've got quite a few rough areas here. Some where I just put a little Bondo on. I got some nicks in it. It's really not really close to, I got a big lump right here. Really not close to final sanding, but I got this product called USC glazing putty. I'll show you. USC icing is what they call it. Polyester finishing putty. This is about a quart. You mix it up just like Bondo. And this has all been cut down with 40 grit. I got a piece of 80 here on a sanding block. I'm going to just kind of knock this down here. We're going to put the putty on it and see what happens. Alright, I've got, I did this with 80 grit. Feels better. I still got a low in here. I still need to do more 40 grit work on it. But right in here you'll see there's some 80 grit or 40 grit scratches. Got a few little dents. There's a big hole here. This is pretty good. Probably got a little low spot right here. I'm doing this to just show what the product does. I can feel this whole section in here is a low. But I'm going to mix up some of this glazing putty and put over this mess, and you'll see what happens. Now it's just the same as Bondo. Try to do this one hand. You can see I got a little hardener in it here. You mix it up. Let me use both hands, and then we'll put it on. Alright, it goes on real thin. You can see I didn't use a new spreader. This is an old spreader. But I can see all my little spreader tracks. There was a hole right here I tried to fill. And it was a pretty big one over here. So you can see it's kind of blue looking because the hardener's blue. But this will harden up just like Bondo. We'll let this set a few minutes. And got a little bit left here on my spreader. Do some out of this cardboard. There's a hole right here. I'll just put a little more in. There we go. when you go to use this stuff, a little hole in here too. I could probably put a Bondo in that. But you definitely need to use a good spreader, because this stuff's so fine that if you got little scratches in your spreader, you'll have little scratches in your stuff too. But this stuff works really good. We'll let this harden and I'll sand it again. I did this with 80 grit and I put that on it. Now I'll knock it down with like 120 or something. Alright, I have some 100 grit paper. You can cover 100 grit with primer, but it's pretty tough. But I'm just gonna sand this here. I haven't let it set a long time, so it's not completely dry. But you can see that it's coming off real good. I already took this all out almost completely. I'm just sanding it down until I start to see high spots in the lower Bondo. And once I see that, then no use going any further. Alright, wipe that down, and it just feels a whole lot better. It'll take all of the 100 grit scratches out, I mean the 80 grit. That's about it. I'm getting the bottom primer showing, or the bottom Bondo starting to show through now. I've still got this little bitty hole. I should have put more on it. But at this point, with a good primer surfacer, all I've got this real thin, cheap stuff. We'll give it a try. This is just a test, not really trying to primer it. Now this is over 100 sandpaper. I don't know if we can get some light shining on it. We'll let that dry and I'll give you one more shot of it. Well, you can see under a bright light the scratches that you can see there. Those are 100 grit scratches. I can't really tell up here, but these are 80 grit in here. 100 grit's still pretty coarse, but the main thing is that this surface, it's kind of hard to tell with a wet primer, but it's real smooth. It took it all down evenly to what I sanded it, 100 grit. If I go over this sand it again with like 220, it'll all come out real smooth, and then we can paint right over this. So we can sand it with 80, fill everything with our, up in here you can really see the 80 grit scratches in this. You can see the difference between that and this down here. Yeah, that's all 80 grit in there, or 40 grit. This is 80 grit under it. And then right here, after the putty, and 100 grit. If you really put quite a bit of paint on, this would probably fill this. But of course I won't. I'll sand the whole thing with 220 or maybe even 360. 220 paint will pretty much fill. But so anyway, that's what this stuff is. USC icing, polyester spot putty. Works really good. It's kind of expensive. I don't know what it was, 35, 40 bucks. But you get about a quart, and it'll fill quite a bit because you're not using that much. You're just using it to fill little holes and scratches. Well, I just went over it with some dry 220 there. You can see those scratches in it. But it's starting to get a more of a shiny look to the whole thing. Probably too much light, but yeah, you can see that the surface is starting to shine. Now, paint will cover this. I can see I got that one little tiny piece right there, but paint would cover this, wouldn't cover that little nick, but it will cover everything else. So that surface right there is good enough to squirt paint on, and the putty straightened all of it out. So it's a good product. It's worth it. Sure saves you a lot of work. You're trying to put Bondo, heavy Bondo on a little hole, doesn't work out. But this works just fine. So I'm going to put this up. It'll be a short video. Make up for that long one that I put up yesterday, guys. So like and subscribe. Sure appreciate you. We'll see you later.